our way into some b-ball dribbling on the block with the meat pack, son. We're gonna get right into it, son. First thing we want to talk about, we actually just had a story come out today, and this man Kyrie Irving, we just talked a little bit last week. I don't know what the fuck's really going on with this dude. He's getting fined money, obviously, for breaking some corona protocols and whatnot. And so he himself got fined $50,000 from the league, and the Nets are fining him about $800-something thousand.
Bro, that is some dude is out there looking for aliens in the desert, burning some sage. I think he was at a family birthday party or something. They got a picture of him, some footage, not wearing a mask. Didn't show up to practice, wasn't showing up to meetings. I mean, you just got to do your job, bro. And if you need some time, I mean, you got to be honest with the owner of the team, the coach. You got to tell him, like, hey, maybe he's going through some shit. That's fine, but you got to express that. You got to get what you need figured out. But you can't just disappear, dude. He's not Dennis Rodman. Like,
nah, yeah. I mean, you can't Dennis Rod. Yeah, you can't just disappear, dude. Like I said, in normal anything outside of NBA, if you just don't show up to work and don't tell anybody, you get fired.
Yeah, they don't even tell you, dude. You show up for your next shift, they're like, you don't go here.
Dude, she doesn't even go here, dude. Like, yeah, it's just, but I don't know. Like you said, he's definitely a deep thinker, weird individual. I don't want to say weird.
He's trying to figure out. He's trying to get so high if he could see if the Earth was flat or not, dude. He's trying to astral project off some sage, dude. You're not supposed to smoke it, all right?
Not supposed to smoke it, dude. That might have been what he was out there doing. But yeah, I mean, like I said, 800,000 is probably just chump change to Kyrie. For sure, dude makes about $500,000 every time.
Imagine not going to work for a week and having to pay $800,000.
Yeah, and I mean, just
being like, like, sure.
And just going forward, like, what's going to happen with them? Obviously, they just made. I think one of the reasons they pulled the trigger for sure on that James Harden trade is just because we don't. What's going on with Kyrie? I mean, what's going to happen? Where is he? What's he doing? So they kind of went with the James Harden thing to get a little insurance. And obviously, I mean, it's James Harden. He's great anyways. But I think that's one of the reasons the Nets probably felt like we need to make this move and it'd be better for us because just who knows at this point. Because one of the things with Kyrie, obviously, just comes the reason he's getting fined and whatnot was for the COVID protocol because that's been something that's just kind of taken this league by storm. Last week is everything that's been going on with this coronavirus. And we saw a couple days ago, 4 or 5 days ago, the Sixers, only being able to go out and put 8 players on the court.
Dudes, yeah.
And they got fined too because they said Ben Simmons had some sort of injury that never got cleared. They were just trying to.
They didn't report it right to the league, yeah.
Yeah, you have to have 8 players readily available. And if you're under, then technically you're not supposed to be able to play. But Doc Rivers and the crew kind of lied about that to try to get out of that game. But
part of the issue, too, with that Ben Simmons situation was you can't just randomly elevate someone from totally healthy to not injured and reverse. Yeah. And they did it reverse. They were like, oh, his knee hurts. But like you said, for that game, I mean, they needed 8 people. They literally were just like, oh, yeah, Ben's fine. So it's like, you just can't be doing that.
Well, see, that's one of the things, too, and I've seen a lot of people on the internet talking about they don't like that rule. But that 8-player rule has been around for a long time. That is not something that just became a thing because of the coronavirus thing. That rule has been implemented for years now of having you need to have 8 players to be able to go out there and play. But the cases are rising in the NBA, and I've seen a lot of people,
they're not in a bubble, bro.
Both sides of things kind of happening, and you just said they're not in the bubble, and I know a lot of people are saying is that maybe something they have to try and go back to and
playoff bubble.
Definitely for the playoffs, I think they run the bubble back for sure. I think that's too hard right now to try to pull off again now that you have all 30 teams ready to go. And, hey, listen, I think this coronavirus thing for the NBA's sake, it's going to get worse before it gets better, I think. But they've been talking to a lot of players and 9 out of 10 players are saying that it is worth it to go out there and play. They want to go out and they want to play and obviously make their money. You know what I'm saying? And they think it's worth it to keep going forward. And I know a lot of people thinking, especially with that Philly situation, that the NBA is kind of being harsh and they feel like the NBA is not You know what I'm saying? Taking as much care or precaution as they did, pulling off the whole bubble thing. And
well, I mean, I kind of disagree with that point. I mean, it's the same thing going on with like the government, the NFL. I mean, you could put out these protocols. You say this is what you should follow to stay safe. And it's just on the people, on the teams, on the organizations to follow that or to not. You know what I mean? And especially being a professional league where it's your job to show up somewhere. I mean, you got to stay healthy. I mean, you can't jeopardize the people around you to go to a strip club, or whatever it is. You got to be accountable. And you gotta do what your team needs. I mean, if the league is saying you can't do this, then you can't do it.
Professional league, this is a job. This is a 9 to 5 for these players. If you want to make the money, you got to be out there. So I think more or less this is going to come down to the players. I mean, they just need to be grown-ups. They need to handle this professionally. And most players are, but we look at that Kyrie situation where he's out and about wearing no mask and whatnot. And I get it. He's there. It's his sister's birthday. It was all family. It was a small gathering, but I mean, we're at a point in time right now where just 10 people in a room, family or not, this and that. Who knows what's happening? Who knows who
that could multiply all, the spread. I think it's like times 50 for each one extra person in the room. You know what I mean? It's like
a domino effect.
Shit's just crazy. I mean, like we said, that's the bottom of the line. They got to stay healthy. And you got to do what the team tells you to do. I mean, take away coronavirus. If you're not showing up to practices, you're not showing up to meetings, you're also going to get fined. You know what I mean? You got to be part of the team.
Got to be a part of the team. You just got to do things in a professional manner. Because like I said, I know the players have said they want to keep playing. They don't want to, games are going to get postponed still. Like it's going to happen. It's just going to be weird. Games are going to get moved around. They already have a shortened season playing 72 games. So like I said, it probably won't get better. Like I said, it's probably going to get worse before it gets better. They're still going to have some things to figure out. We're going to see some teams and some players be out. And then, like you said, maybe around playoff time, they'll go resort back to that bubble.
There's been a little bit of rumblings about that, dude. I mean, it'd be interesting to see it. Like that bubble environment was something else. I think we saw some great play out of some players that you wouldn't expect in there. It had like that March Madness type vibe to it, But I mean, that's just a massive thing to pull off. They're going to put all these teams in a bubble again. I mean, that's just logistically. Where do you even? Oh, excuse me. Where do you?
Jesus Christ. Dude.
Where do you even start?
Chill out, bro. But I mean, hey, at the same time, we saw
so passionate.
We saw this happen in the MLB. We saw it happen multiple weeks with football where things just got a little out of hand and whatnot. So we're going to see it obviously a little bit in basketball. And, I think the whole situation will be fine. I think they'll figure it out. And like you said, the players who are just doing what they need to do and are just keeping quiet and going home and not putting anyone at risk, they're going to be all right and keep moving forward. So, we got to, instead of worrying about, who's going out and messing around and getting sick, we need to, shine more light on the guys that are doing it the right way.
Hey, let me tell you something, Mike. It fucking takes all of us. All right?
Wear your mask. If you're going outside, wear your mask. Wash your fucking hands.
You dirty fuckers, dude. Like, literally just wash your mitts. Like,
that's all you got to do. Wash your
what?
Hot water. Wash your face. Wash your hands. Scrub your sack. Whatever you got to do, dude.
Sucking on your fingers in public. Try that out. Like, why am I sick all the time?
Yeah, dude. Like, I mean,
like, what?
And I mean, hey, they're gonna, as far as contact tracing and whatnot, I do think it's weird to see, everyone in the building who is negative, and then you still have players all in the building that are wearing the mask and whatnot. I just, I feel like if everyone's in that building, they're in that building because they're good. But like you said, there's contact tracing. People are asymptomatic. You never know, so you just got to be careful. It takes all of us. Do your shit and just fucking keep it moving. But so we'll see what more develops with that situation, but just going to talk a little more general with the NBA about now some things we've seen and whatnot.
I want to bring up real quick, just talking about Philly all the time. That's my team. Love the Sixers having a great season. My boy Shake Milton Millhouse dropped 31 on him the other night. I was screaming at the TV, dude. That was so hype. Great to see that.
Well,
shout out that boy Millhouse.
When they went out that game, they all had 8 people. That man, Tyrese Maxey, I think.
Tyrese Maxey, dude.
38 or something. And,
Matisse Thybulle out here getting some work done. Like, they're all right. Young future looking great. Wait, you go ahead. Sorry.
Well, I was going to say, one of the things I want to talk about, especially with a Sixers fan, is, I obviously saw everything just happen with James Harden and whatnot, but it was confirmed that obviously Philly was ready to make a trade with the Rockets to get James Harden, and we're willing to give up Ben Simmons. They said
So they would have gave up Ben Simmons, like Matisse Thybulle, Shake Milton, and a bunch of draft picks. So, I mean, I think at this point, I don't know if that's worth it. I mean, I really like the squad they got going on here. James Harden is James Harden, but
yeah, but Ben Simmons this morning, how did you feel? Like, hey, dude, that your team was about ready to ship you out, and
I mean, I'm sure you definitely have the right to feel some type of way about that, but I mean, business is business. I mean, let's just face it. Like, I love Ben Simmons, but him and James Harden are on two different levels.
Oh, dude, it's like
so. I mean, it's like if they have to go out and acquire that asset, I'm not happy about that as a fan. That's not what I thought was a good move. I did not want Harden from the start on Philly. But I mean, if I was Ben Simmons in that situation, I mean, you just got to view it like that. I mean, that's just business.
Well, I think Ben Simmons too has to, if I was Ben Simmons, I'm using that as fuel. I'm thinking, hey, if my name's being brought up with James Harden, like you said, they are on two totally different levels for sure. Ben Simmons is a phenomenal young player, but James Harden is James Harden. And, to think like, hey, I'm so good that I would have been included in that package. I mean, at least you'd think, they
just think of it in a positive way.
They think I'm a great player to want me if that would have been the case. But obviously the James Harden thing is came and gone. Things are sticking with it. I do want to give a shout out to the Rockets, though, man. That man Christian Wood. I got a fantasy squad put up a stat line last night, and he's looking nice, man. He's a guy, that bounce.
Shaq, you're a casual. You don't know who I am. You're a casual.
Call Shaq a casual, and like I said, it's a guy that's bounced around a couple teams, 4 or 5 different teams at this point. It seems like he found himself a little home in the Rockets. And my big thing I think is intriguing with the Rockets is. I do think we do see that there have been talks that Oladipo does get flipped again. He's on an expiring contract. They can get money off the books or maybe get a pick out of a team that would want to go ahead and acquire Oladipo that they think they could go with moving forward. But I want to see how they play, man. When you have a core of John Wall, DeMarcus Cousins, if we take Christian Wood and Victor Oladipo into account, I don't think that's a bad basketball team at all. The only thing is, like, man, you're dealing with between John Wall, Christian Wood, or John Wall, DeMarcus Cousins, and Victor Oladipo. I mean, these are 3 guys at this point in their career really haven't stayed healthy for the majority of it. And so you're kind of relying on those 3 to stay healthy to be able to, go forward and carry a franchise. But obviously letting go, John Wall has a huge contract for sure. He's got about 3 years left, about $100 million. So he's not necessarily really going anywhere.
And we're seeing a little bit of revitalization out of John Wall in Houston.
He's been looking all right. Legs look good. I love me some John Wall, dude, especially him coming. There was a point in time, brother, you got to go back to about 2009, bro, where John Wall coming out of college was one of the hypest storylines we've seen in a long time, dude. We had everyone out here doing the John.
Yeah.
Oh, John, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, he was always just kind of known for being like that speed player, like just the crazy speed. And he's maintained that pretty much through his career. I mean, that's not easy on the knees, especially playing basketball.
No, for sure. And you would think, I mean, you look at John Wall and like Russell Westbrook, who, is such a downhill force. And 2 guys that have never really been known for their shooting. You'd think at this point in his age, and especially after the surgeries, John Wall would start to become a little bit more of a shooter. But if he can keep doing what he's doing and Boogie can stay healthy and do his part, and like you said, if Christian Wood can assert a surge, what am I trying to say? Ascend a little bit. And Oladipo, if he can come. My biggest question with the Rockets is whether or not Oladipo stays or not. I think he probably gets dealed.
Here's my thing about Victor Oladipo, bro. He's got the best name to Bruce Buffer scream. I'm talking about Victor Oladipo. You know what I'm saying? It's just hype as fuck, dude. He hits a 3. Get that dude. Get me on the Voice of God announcer. I'm gonna scream that dude's name. Shout out.
Victor Oladipo, we got to hype. This man has a beautiful voice. That man be hitting some R&B on the side. Dude's got a couple of mixtapes or something like that. Dude's got a phenomenal singing voice, which is hype to see. But
absolute fire. But another guy I want to talk about right now, we talked about a little bit last week. But the Washington Wizards right now are 3-8. pretty terrible start to the season. But that boy Bradley Beal is leading the league in points per game at about 36 and some change right there. I mean, whoa, dude.
Hey, that's been another thing too. I saw a meme where it's like, you know, Bradley Beal seeing all these trades go down and him just kind of sitting there like, you know, what's going on here? And I mean, hey, there's two. Obviously, Bradley Beal is a baller. But the reality of the Wizards is, one, that's just a super, super young team right now.
Yeah, they just suck, bro. I don't know.
Yeah, no, they're just not playing good basketball right now. Obviously, you think Russell Westbrook and Bradley Beal, you know, is a good one too, which I think they are, but the team's just not very good. Everybody else on that team is like under 23 or 24 and just don't know how to win basketball games. And I think in the past 2 or 3 years, Bradley Beal has had like 8 games where he scored 50 and they've lost.
What?
And that's just. Yeah. But, you know, hey, Bradley Beal did sign on. He said he wants to stay with Washington and whatnot. But
I appreciate a dude like that. We talk about that, you know, quite a bit on this show.
How many guys have said that, and just it turns out they just bounce. Like
that's true, but you know, got to appreciate the loyalty for Bradley Beal going on there. But you know, also looking at that Washington team, like what's going on with Russ Westbrook, bro? I mean, ever since OKC, I mean, he's been having good plays, putting up some good numbers every now and then. But
triple doubles this season,
huh?
He's had like 6 triple doubles this season.
Oh, I'm fucking tripping absolute dick then. But yeah, no, I don't know. I'm just not watching the game. I'm not hearing his name.
No, I mean,
he's dropping 6 triple double. Whoa, what am I talking about?
Nah, listen, they're both putting up numbers in this and that. It's a situation where it's like, you know what I'm saying? Bradley Beal can go out and put up 50 points. He could average 50 points, but just when your supporting cast isn't pulling their weight, you know, I like this team in a year or two, possibly with some of these young guys come. I mean, this is the thing when you have a team that has a star on it, but then it's just surrounded by a bunch of young guys. I mean, this is just kind of what it looks like.
Bench, dude. You need that depth.
Bradley Beal is going to get his for sure. Russell Westbrook's going to have really big nights. And, you know, I think you know, as the season goes, they'll figure it out. You know, playoff team. I think they can get there for sure. I think they can turn things around, take advantage of some of these other teams that I think will fall off towards the later half of the season. But you know, 3-8's not very good. But Bradley Beal's balling. He's been doing this the past couple of years. Obviously, John Wall was out those couple of years, and Bradley Beal kind of stepped in and just was like, "Dude, I'm just going to get these buckets." But they just haven't really had a good basketball team. And like I said, I really do like some of the players they got. You know, they just went ahead and drafted Denny Avdija. I don't know how to say his last name. Israel Cat, who looks decent, but just too young at this point. And like I said, I don't think Bradley Beal is good enough. Well, I don't know. That's weird to say, but to have 50 points equate to a win. We've seen the same thing happen with Zach LaVine in Chicago. Zach LaVine's another guy who can go out and drop 45, 50, and they lose just because that team is so young. And just not a very good basketball team. But, you know, if we're looking at, you know, the Wizards side of things, I said early on, first week of the season, that, you know, I like the Wizards to make the playoffs. I kind of went a little too far and said I think they could be sleeper, sneaky, really good team. But, yeah, you know what I'm saying? You got a little sneak preview. You know, playoff team. I'm not sure about that, but I'm hyped, man. The biggest takeaway just on the block segment is what the fuck's going on with Kyrie Irving, bro. Dudes needs to put down the stage and go out there and start hooping again, man. I want to see them 3 play together, possibly make a championship run over there in Brooklyn.
I would love to see that. You're right, but dude just can't get out the desert, dude. He's smoking too much sage. Just got them big old shades on, dude. Just eyes peeled. You know what I'm saying?
I feel, dude, but hey, I mean, it's Kyrie Irving, so yeah, man, I don't know, but I'm hyped to see what happens. Hyped to watch some more basketball. That being said, though, that was On the Block. That's the show as a whole, baby. We finna wrap things up. That being said, the Meat Pack Salami Squad. Get the fuck out of here.